Hey, what's up? HG3 here, and I'm here with an update from my stream, which I just finished moments ago. I made it to 2000 MMR. Woo woo! I'm pretty happy about this. We've been grinding, and several times we got really close to 2K, but this is the grand reveal. We are now amongst the gods at 2K MMR. In fact, over 2K. Played okay tonight. Backed into a couple victories, really. But I'm really excited about this, and I figured I'd kind of check in with you guys and give you some info on what I've been doing in ladder and why it's been successful for me. So, looking at this top 10, top 20 leaderboard, I played almost all the players here, and I can tell you with certainty that out of these players, there's about 40% Scoia'tael, maybe a little bit less, about 40% NR, and then 20% other, which is probably mostly Skellige, and that's probably generous. It's probably even a little bit less than that. But that's the breakdown of the top 20 right now. Monsters were played a couple times, but it didn't really work out. I know a couple of the streamers from over in Europe were playing some monster decks with Gales, but I don't think it had enough consistency. So a lot of Scoia'tael, probably the most Scoia'tael, then a lot of Northern Realms, and then a steep drop off to Skellige, and monsters are currently nowhere to be seen. At least we haven't seen a deck that has really changed things for them. I figured I'd give you guys a look at my decks. I have these available in my chat and Twitch stream, but some of the YouTube viewers may have not seen them. This is Dunkero's deck, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because at some point I'm going to free up some time and try and get a Dunkero Gwent grind video where he can talk about the deck. And there are a lot of variations that can occur within this deck, but this is the general shape of most full test based Northern Realms deck you're going to see at the top of the ladder and also climbing. This is a deck that can readily deal with PFI. It's a deck that beats Scoia'tael pretty regularly and actually cause for concern in the Scoia'tael matchup for Scoia'tael players. And its strength really relies in the ability to pour out units onto the board round 1 and then do it again round 2 and then get value reses moving forward. Again, I'm going to leave some of the description because eventually I'm going to get Dunkero on a video and we're going to talk about this. That is entirely my bad. I should have done it, but of course, pinch for time, lots of videos, lots of streaming. We'll get that done. I promise. Unless, of course, he changes his mind and doesn't want to do it anymore. Then I can't help it. Just kidding. I'm sure he'd love to do it. And then the second deck I've been playing on the ladder is a deck I call Thin Dwarf. I don't really know who to credit this deck with. I'm sure someone has put it up on Gwent DB by now. If you look over there, you'll probably find something like this. I know that I originally saw some players, Shadow of Death and also Pro Neo, were playing some kind of version of this. And basically, it's a Brewer Hoog-based Siri Dash deck. And the point of this deck is to try and get yourself in a situation where you're overdrawing into Siri Dash. And what that means is that you want to have no cards left in your deck going into round 3. Sometimes, very rarely, going into round 2. No, just kidding. You never want to have no cards going into round 2. It's just bad. Round 3, going into round 3, you want to have no cards left in your deck with Siri Dash on the board. Because Siri Dash's ability, of course, is that instead of being destroyed, she moves back to the deck. So, that means that you'll guaranteed draw her for value. She's a gold card, she has a lot of base strength. And when you manipulate that, you're drawing a lot of cards in the process, and you can determine if you're going to use them to try and win the round, if you're going to use them to just stall and make it to round 3 and then have value plays there. You also have the opportunity to just pour a lot of strength into round 2 if you're up a round and force out some really important cards from your opponent, knowing that you have this fallback plan with Siri Dash coming next round. So there's a lot of options. The one thing you do have to worry about, though, Milva and overdraw situations where your deck is already depleted and cards like Yavin or Stennis are on your side of the board. Because that is a scary situation. You have to be very careful not to play a disloyal unit on your opponent's side of the board with no cards to draw, because then you're just giving them strength. Sometimes it's hard to avoid, but keep that in mind if you're going to play a deck like this. The deck has 2 Mardromes in it. These are mostly to deal with threats to Mardromes now. At some point, it was mainly about buffing Roach, but it's pretty much just turned into using Mardromes in an aggressive way to try and take out threats. Using them on Reaver Scouts is fine. Using them on opposing Roaches, sometimes Elven Mercs. All these are fine usages of them. If you don't have that and Roach is on the board ready to receive a Shroom, then by all means throw it at him. But the situations where Roach is on the board ready to catch a Shroom are few and far between in general. Usually he's coming back to your hand immediately through a Milva card advantage play, which is where you play Milva on an empty board or on a board with only golds on it, and she knocks the Roach right to your hand, so you don't have to worry about drawing him. You free up King of Beggars, so he's not going to possibly pull out Roach, and he's 100% on either your Mercs or your BMCs, depending on what stage of the game you're at. And also it gives you an option with Johnny, and a lot of the silvers right now are very valuable to everyone. It's happened against me where Johnny has turned a Roach into a second decoy. Stuff like that is actually lethal. It's so strong. Johnny definitely has a place in Scoia'tael right now. I think he's close to being essential. Like, as far as essential cards go, Aromancy is 100%. Aglyce is 100%. Yavin and Decoy are pretty much there. First Lights, Mercs, BMCs, locked in. Johnny is close. He's close on that list. I know a lot of you guys don't like Scoia'tael, but they are a good deck, and if you don't like playing them, it doesn't hurt to know what they're doing or why they're doing it, especially as you try and climb up the ladder, because believe me, you are going to see them, and then you're going to see them again, and then you're going to see them again. And any changes they make moving into the next patch, they'd have to drastically alter something for Scoia'tael to be knocked too far down. Northern Realms, we're anticipating a bit of a rework, so maybe the other deck isn't going to work in the same exact way. But unless a Rally or First Light get changed, Scoia'tael will still be relevant. So know your deck or know your opponent's deck. Either way, you can learn from this. And maybe we'll get a deck feature video on this deck as well moving forward. Just wanted to check in, tell you guys what I've been using so we're all up to date. If you want to climb the ladder, I'd recommend either of these decks. Give them a go. And there will definitely be more on Northern Realms moving forward. I am finally over the hump at 2K. Can't wait to lose it tomorrow. The goal is to hit rank 8, but that's pretty hard because you're just playing Sharks. I mean, I've been playing Sharks for weeks now, but it doesn't get any easier the higher you get, especially with the option to just lose more MMR to people below you, which I do pretty consistently. So that's all for today. I'm HG3. I'll see you guys next time. Please make sure to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to Gwent City if you haven't already. Check out our live streams and have a good day. Peace out.